Our top focus this Monday morning is on Rhea Chakrabarti being summoned yet again by the Narcotics Control Bureau. This is for the second consecutive day in the Sushant Singh Rajput death case. This comes after she confessed before the NCB about arranging drugs for Sushant. Rhea also confessed to being aware about the drugs deal between Samuel Miranda and peddler Zaid Vilatra in March this year. She also admitted discussing drugs with her younger brother Shouvik Chakrabarti, who is, remember, currently in NCB custody till September 9th. Rhea's grilling comes as Sushant's house help Dipesh Sawant made explosive revelations before the narco agency. Sawant told NCB that he procured 10 grams of weed and 5 grams of marijuana on 2 separate occasions at the behest of Rhea and Shouvik.
Rhea leaving her Mumbai home for NCB office on Sunday after Narcotic Bureau officials served her summons, asking her to join questioning at 11 a.m. Rhea reached the NCB office among mad rush from assembled media persons to face a marathon 6-hour grilling. On day one, Rhea was reportedly evasive about using drugs herself. But sources said that she confessed to sourcing drugs for her boyfriend Sushant Singh Rajput. Sources said she was aware of Sushant's former manager Samuel Miranda procuring drugs from peddler Zaid on March of 17th. Rhea also admitted to drug chats with her brother Shouvik Chakrabarti, but maintained she herself never consumed drugs.
I have never taken any drugs.
So you tried MDMA once?
Never. And I'm willing to do a drug test.
During the grilling, Rhea was also asked about her drug chat with other accused, including former house manager Samuel Miranda and house help Dipesh Sawant. Both Dipesh and Miranda have testified against Rhea, claiming they got drugs at her behest. India Today has learned that Rhea is likely to be confronted with other accused on day 2 of her grilling. Rhea is accused of purchase and possession of drugs. She is also facing the charges of drug consumption, their transportation and usage of banning drugs. The Narcotics Bureau may opt to arrest Rhea if her answers are unsatisfactory or there is any mismatch.
NCB officials are going to grill Rhea Chakrabarti for the second day because they haven't got any confession from Rhea regarding consumption of the narcotic drug. She hasn't received or delivered the said drug, and that is why NCB officials are trying to extract a confession from Rhea Chakrabarti. With camera person Sachin Sawant and Munish Pandey, this is Divyesh Singh in Mumbai for India Today.
Trouble is only mounting for Rhea Chakrabarti as 2 of Sushant Singh Rajput's closest aides have directly named her in the drug link probe. Now, the late actor's house help Dipesh Sawant told the Narcotics Bureau that he actually procured drugs on Rhea and Shouvik's instructions. Here are the latest updates.
Rhea is finding the drug news tightening on her after sensational revelations by Sushant's house staff, putting his girlfriend in dock over drug scandal. Sushant Singh Rajput's domestic help, Dipesh Sawant, can prove trouble for Rhea. He has been sent to NCB custody till Wednesday over charges of drug peddling.
The Honorable Court has granted NCB custody to Shri Dipesh Sawant till 9th of September.
During sustained overnight interrogation, Dipesh made explosive revelations before anti-drug sleuths, claiming he got banned narcotics on 5 to 6 occasions at Rhea and Shouvik's behest. Dipesh told NCB on April 17th he received 10 grams of weed from peddler Kaizan near Sushant's Mount Blanc building on Rhea and Shouvik's instructions. In fact, WhatsApp chats from May 1 reveal Shouvik asked Dipesh to get 5 grams of marijuana from a person called Dwayne. Both Dipesh and Sushant's former house manager Samuel Miranda, also arrested by NCB, have revealed that Bollywood celebrities used to attend drug-fueled parties at Sushant's farmhouse. However, Dipesh's lawyer has alleged that his client was held without his family's knowledge.
वो 4 तारीख को 10 बजे से उनके पास था। अकॉर्डिंगली 24 घंटे में उसको प्रोड्यूस करना था। उसके घर वालों को मालूम नहीं था, उसकी कोई वेयर अबाउट्स मालूम नहीं है, कोई एप्लीकेशन दिया नहीं है। उनका ऐसा कहना है कि उन्होंने इंक्वायरी के लिए रखा था और कल ही उसको अरेस्ट किया। हमारा कहना है कि वो 24 घंटे से ज्यादा उनकी कस्टडी में था, तो हमने वो अर्जी फाइल कर दी है कोर्ट ने उसके ऊपर एनसीबी का कॉल किया रिप्लाई।
Armed with these statements given by Dipesh Sawant, Samuel Miranda and Shavik Chakrabarti, sources within the Narcotics Control Bureau have told India Today that on second day of questioning, Riya Chakrabarti might be confronted with the arrested accused in the case, including her own brother. NCB sources also claims that they have enough ground to arrest Riya Chakrabarti, but the second day of questioning will decide that whether Riya Chakrabarti will be arrested or she walks out after NCB's questioning. With camera person Prashant Bhatt, this is Munish Pandey in Mumbai for India Today.
There's another name that's been doing the rounds in this particular case, and that is of Sandeep Singh. He claims to be a friend of Sushant Singh Rajput. That, however, has been countered by several others. He's now broken his silence for the first time since his name came to the fore. Sandeep, who claims to be the friend of Sushant, was the first one to reach his residence on June 14th. He was also questioned by the CBI on Saturday. Sandeep, meanwhile, posted a series of screenshots of his chats with Sushant Singh Rajput and his sister Meetu Singh to support his claim of being Sushant's friend. Sandeep posted several screenshots of the conversations with Sushant from 2016 and 2018, where Sushant calls him his brother and also invited him for a party. In one of the WhatsApp conversations with Sandeep, Sushant's sister Meetu is asking him about the payment of ambulance driver who took Sushant's body. Sandeep replies saying he's already made the payment. This even as Meetu denies having ever known Sandeep.
My first question to you is, Sandeep, and thank you for talking to India Today, that the latest issue is that it was about the ambulance that had been contacted via your call records on 14 June, which is understandable. Why did you again call on 16th June? And then what is this issue of payment that has come from the latest WhatsApp chats to the sister of Sushant as well? Clear your version here right now. Why did you call the ambulance on 16 June? Did you pay them? Did somebody else pay and you took the credit? Sandeep.
Okay. Thank you, Pooja. Pooja, the thing is, I'll be very honest to you. The ambulance person had called me for their payment because my number was with the police person and the ambulance person asked whom should I take the payment from. Then the police might have given my number at the Cooper hospital and then the ambulance person called me. Once he called me, I picked up the call and he said ki I am the ambulance guy, I need my payment. So, but obvious he's been asking only for the payment, nothing else, because it's their job. So once he asked me, I said the 14th and the 15th I couldn't pay. And the situation was at that time that I can't ask the family to pay it. I'm also a friend. I'm standing by them when nobody was standing there from the industry or from his friends. But on the 16th, again he called me for the payment, but on the 15th there was a funeral. So I couldn't meet and pay him. Then I connected him to my person, Deepak Sahu, who made the payment of 8,000 to Akshay. And the payment was clear. That's why he had to make and I had to speak 2 to 3 times or 4 times, whatever.
So that is the only reason
I never knew that this small issue can become such a big issue. What else the reason can be, Pooja ji? What else?
Okay.
You tell me.
Okay. So you're clearing your version because
you tell me one thing. When I went on the 14th June No, absolutely. But when I went on the 14th June to Sushant's place after hearing the news, I thought there will be many people from the industry and his friends for last 35 years. They will come there. But when I went there, I saw nobody. And now everybody tells me you were a fool to go because everybody who's intelligent and sharp, they did not go because they wanted to save their career. They wanted to be very, they wanted to save their image. So does that mean that when I go for the funeral, I have to make sure that how is my shirt, how is my body language? I should not show thumbs up. My eyes should be teary.
Even as we continue tracking the latest on the investigation into the Sushant Singh Rajput death case, the question that still looms is how did Sushant die? Was he murdered or did he die by suicide? Many theories have been surrounding the death of Sushant, and in fact many top multi-agencies like CBI, ED, NCB, they're probing different angles into his death. Now a 3-member AIIMS doctors team, which is working on a murder theory, has made a rather big revelation. Close to 3 months after his mysterious death, there are more question marks than answers in the Sushant death mystery. Now the AIIMS forensic team has questioned the suicide theory. In Mumbai for 3 days, the AIIMS team of autopsy experts found glaring loopholes.
It clearly mentions that the ligature mark appears horizontal in mid of neck. It's not high up. In mid of neck, bruised rather than high up placed, oblique and abraded. So if in case somebody hangs himself, then there's a whole abrasion that happens because the cloth actually travels from the middle of the neck to the highest most part of the neck. That entire abrasion is not seen.
The 3-member AIIMS team also asked 4 pointed questions from 5 Cooper Hospital doctors, asking why they ruled out Sushant's death as homicide.
4 questions for the doctors. What is your opinion about the ligature mark alone, without mixing the other internal examination findings and inquest reports? So the question is specific to the ligature mark. They say, do not mix the other internal reports. Just tell us, what is this ligature mark? How will you explain this?
As part of its probe, the AIIMS team also visited Sushant's house with the CBI on Saturday and recreated the crime scene. It also visited autopsy department of Cooper Hospital and interacted with doctors and mortuary staff. With Anjana Om Kashyap, Bureau Report, India Today. Another story we're tracking closely this morning is the war of words between actor Kangana Ranaut and Shiv Sena leaders. After Kangana's fresh tirade against MP Sanjay Raut, Sena's Anil Parab has alleged that the actor is trying to disrupt law and order in the city. The Maharashtra cabinet minister added that the party would decide how to welcome Kangana in Mumbai. This as Kangana, in a fierce response to Sanjay Raut's demand for an apology, tweeted out a video where she blamed the Shiv Sena MP of empowering harassers. She further added that Sena leaders have been threatening her, and yet she will land in Mumbai on September 9th. Sanjay Raut, while seeking an apology, had alleged that Kangana had insulted the state's pride. On Friday, Shiv Sena party workers also staged massive protests against the actor as she compared Mumbai to POK and Taliban in a tweet.
आपने जिसका भौंडा प्रदर्शन पूरे समाज के सामने, पूरे देश के सामने किया है, वो मानसिकता इसकी जिम्मेदार है। और इस देश की बेटी आपको माफ नहीं करेगी संजय जी। आपने उन सब महिलाओं का शोषण करने वालों को सशक्तिकरण किया है। इस देश की बेटियां आपको माफ नहीं करेंगी। जब आमिर खान जी ने कहा था मुझे इस देश में डर लगता है, तब उनको किसी ने हरामखोर नहीं कहा, या जब नसीरुद्दीन शाह जी ने कहा था तब उनको किसी ने हरामखोर नहीं कहा। जो मुंबई पुलिस की मैं तारीफ करते हुए नहीं थकती थी। आप देख लीजिए मेरे पुराने कोई भी इंटरव्यूज, आज जब वो पालघर की लिंचिंग में साधुओं को के सामने वो कुछ नहीं करते हैं, खड़े रहते हैं, या एक लाचार बाप जैसे कि सुशांत के पिताजी उनकी एफआईआर नहीं लेते हैं, मेरी स्टेटमेंट नहीं लेते हैं, तो इस प्रशासन के चलते हुए अगर मैं उनकी निंदा करती हूं, ये मेरी अभिव्यक्ति की आजादी है, मैं उनकी निंदा करती हूं। संजय जी, मैं आपकी निंदा करती हूं, आप महाराष्ट्र नहीं हैं। आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि मैंने महाराष्ट्र की निंदा की। और संजय जी, मैं 9 सितंबर को आ रही हूं। आपके लोग कह रहे हैं कि आप लोग मेरा जबडा तोड़ देंगे, आप लोग मुझे मार डालेंगे।
जाणीवपूर्वक वातावरण खराब करण्याचा प्रयत्न केला जातोय। कोणीतरी काहीतरी चूक करावी आणि सरकारवरती दोष यावा, अशा प्रकारचा प्रयत्न जाणीवपूर्वक कोणाच्या तरी सांगण्यावरना कंगना राणावत करते। अशा प्रकारचं आव्हान शिवसेनेला देऊन उगीच वातावरण खराब करायचं आणि मग अशातनं एखादी घटना घडली की त्याचा दोष सरकारवर फोडायचा, ही व्यूहरचना आहे। आणि ही व्यूहरचना तिच्या पाठीमागे कोणतरी तिला त्याचा स्क्रिप्ट लावून देणारे आहेत असं आमचं मत आहे। त्याच्यामुळे याच्यावरती काय निर्णय घ्यायचा तो
Let's get you the latest on the probe into the sandalwood drug scandal. 5 people, including Kannada actor Ragini Dwivedi, have been arrested over drug links. The Kannada actor was arrested on Friday after a 7-hour grilling session by the Bengaluru crime branch. A bail plea is scheduled to be heard today in a Bengaluru court. Besides Ragini, clerk Ravi Shankar, party organizer Viren Khanna, real estate businessman Rahul Shetty and an African drug peddler have been arrested so far. The high-profile sandalwood drug racket was busted by the Bengaluru crime branch last month. RTO clerk Ravi Shankar was put under surveillance before his arrest on September 3rd. The drug scandal has also turned political, with former Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah alleging that Ragini Dwivedi and several other accused have links to the BJP. The ruling party has hit back, denying any connection with the Kannada actor or the other accused.
Those people who have been caught, some members also are from the BJP party. So now to cover up, they are trying to deviate the things, but law will take its own course of action. Congress party will give all support to the department, police department and the ministry to stop this drugs menace. And whoever is involved should be punished, because the youths who are prone to drugs, their whole life is...
And I earlier on Sunday spoke to veteran actor in the sandalwood industry, Prakash Belawari, who's spoken out in defense of Ragini Dwivedi, saying he knows her well and that she's never done drugs. He's also said that she is being, in fact, targeted because she is a woman.
Ragini Dwivedi is a personal friend. I have never seen her, do sell drugs, keep drugs or something. I've never seen her do it. And I know her quite well. So if it is true, I'll be really shocked. That's all I will say.
Do you think it's a witch hunt, against Ragini Dwivedi, that there is a lot of pressure perhaps on officials to act and that's why they're scapegoating some?
It's not that. I think if it was a man involved, there would be less shaming. I think girls get a bad time anyway. That there was an incident in a park where some local, locally influential person, stopped her. The thing is that the moment that incident came out, people began to talk about stuff that is irrelevant to that incident, saying how she talks, how she behaves otherwise. I think it's really hard if you're a girl, You guys hang out. Last night I was out till 4 a.m. The only person who could have been annoyed with me could have been my wife. But, we never get shamed, men. But I think it's very hard for girls. They get the worst of it.
No, I completely understand what you're saying, because then a woman is branded as someone with a loose character. People then, think they have the liberty to judge her for almost every decision she takes, and that her personal life is something that's out in the public domain for everyone to discuss. Yes, that is an issue. But having said that, Mr. Belawari, is there also a certain responsibility of the industry also, to set the right example? It's not the first time that you're associating drugs with films, you're associating drugs with actors. Is this a problem that must be addressed?
Well, I don't know how it can be addressed. Of course, it needs to be addressed. See, I will tell you, if you are saying that there is a drugs racket, that there is some people are using the word mafia, that there's a drugs mafia, that's a really, really serious problem. It's something that, Mr. Bidri.
And we'll continue getting you all the latest updates on that story. Let's move on for the moment to another big development today. The Delhi Metro has resumed services after 5 months. The metro trains will run on tracks in a staggered manner, and by 12th September, the entire metro route will be made operational for commuters. Preparations as per the new normal began days back to ensure smooth functioning. Following the new COVID norms and the fact that they are mandatory for all the passengers, these norms include social distancing, face masks, thermal screening, as well as hand sanitization, among others. Delhi Transport Minister Kailash Gehlot visited a metro station yesterday to review the preparedness. Metro services have resumed in other major cities as well, such as Lucknow, Chennai, Kochi and Bengaluru.
ऐसे ही जा रहे थे जी, दुखी होके, कभी मोटरसाइकिल से, कभी बदल बदल के कुछ न कुछ साधन।
अब मेट्रो मिल गया,
मेट्रो खुल गई, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
पहले
तो बहुत परेशान होते, बहुत धक्के खाते जाते थे जी, बहुत परेशान। बहुत अच्छा लग रहा जी, बहुत अच्छा लगा। हाँ जी।
A stunning end to Novak Djokovic's 29-match winning streak and bid for an 18th Grand Slam title. The world #1 tennis player was disqualified from the US Open after he accidentally hit a ball at a line judge in his 4th round match. The 33-year-old showed his frustration after losing serve to trail 6-5 against Spain's Pablo Busta. Now, the Serbian world #1 took a ball out of his pocket and hit it behind him, striking the female line judge in her throat. Djokovic later apologized, saying he's extremely sorry for creating her such stress and that he feels empty and sad.